Imagine this. The room falls into a hush so thick you could slice it with a knife. The kind of silence that screams louder than any argument. There I was, Emily, the perpetual underdog of the family, standing in Aunt Linda's sprawling colonial house in Naperville, Illinois, with my laptop hooked up to the flat-screen TV. The Monopoly board lay abandoned on the dining table, fake money scattered like confetti from a bad party. My cousin Alex, always the golden boy with his slick suits and endless charm, had just finished mocking me again about my boring little job crunching numbers. His smirk was frozen now, as the screen lit up with my investment portfolio, $1.2 million in vivid green digits. Undeniable proof of the empire I'd built in the shadows. The color drained from his face. From Aunt Linda's. From everyone else's. But that was just the spark. The firestorm was coming. Fueled by years of their belittling, their betrayals, and the cold realization that they'd tried to steal it all from me. From the outside, I was the family footnote, the quiet one who never quite fit the picture. At 32, I lived in a no-frills one-bedroom in Chicago's Loop. Drove a reliable 2012 Toyota Camry that I'd bought used, and spent my evenings poring over stock charts instead of hitting happy hours. My job as a data analyst at a scrappy fintech startup called FinForge wasn't the stuff of headlines, a dozen of us geeks in a loft office, coding algorithms to forecast market trends. To my relatives, I was Excel Emily, the oddball who brought a tablet to barbecues and calculated ROI on birthday gifts while they tossed footballs and swapped gossip. They pitied me. Or so they said, with those sidelong glances that whispered, "Poor girl. She'll never make it big." But beneath it all simmered a resentment I could feel like a low hum in my chest, the way they'd dismiss my ideas, borrow without repaying, and treat my silence as weakness. Alex was the star they'd all orbit around. 3 years my senior. At 35, he was the real estate hotshot in Evanston, cruising in a leased Mercedes, always with a new date on his arm, usually someone impressed by his tales of flipping million-dollar condos along Lake Michigan. Aunt Linda, his mom, hosted these monthly family game nights in her picture-perfect home, all granite kitchens and leather sectionals, boasting about her entrepreneurial son over artisanal cheese platters and craft cocktails. She'd beam as Alex regaled us with stories of closing deals that sounded too good to be true, and the family lapped it up. Me? I was the punchline. Still tinkering with those spreadsheets. He'd say, winking at the table, "When are you gonna get a real life?" I'd force a smile, swallow the knot in my throat, and play along. Because rocking the boat meant isolation in a family that prized appearances over authenticity. What they didn't know, what I'd kept buried like a vault, was that I was damn good at what I did. While Alex was schmoozing through his associate's degree in business, I'd clawed my way to a summa cum laude in finance and data science from Northwestern. While he staged open houses and exaggerated property values, I built predictive models that spotted market shifts before they hit the news. My stake in FinForge, plus smart bonuses, had snowballed into real wealth. But I lived lean, same apartment for years. Thrift store finds for clothes. Every surplus dollar funneled into diversified investments, tech ETFs, REITs, a cautious dip into crypto. No flash. No flex. Why? Because I'd learned young that shining too bright in this family made you a target. Their jokes had chipped away at me, leaving scars that ran deep, turning my success into a secret armor. The October game night was when the cracks started showing. I pulled up to Aunt Linda's driveway, squeezing my Camry between Alex's shiny Mercedes and cousin Sarah's Escalade. Laughter echoed from the windows as I walked in with a modest bottle of Cabernet, nothing fancy. Nothing to question. "Emily's here," Aunt Linda cooed, air-kissing me with that practiced affection that felt more like obligation. "We're just starting Scrabble," Alex already claimed the high score spot. Of course he had. Alex had been dominating these nights since we were kids, turning every game into a showcase of his winning instincts. As we settled in, he held court, just closed on a lakefront penthouse, bidding war. Got 15% over ask. Boom. The oohs and ahs followed, while I picked my tiles quietly, building words like prudent and yield that earned eye rolls. The digs came fast. So, still single? That accountant guy didn't pan out, Sarah asked, smirking as I paid her triple points. Aunt Linda chimed in, at your age. Honey, you gotta lower those standards. Alex laughed loudest. Nah. She's too busy with her calculators. Fun girls are more my speed. The table erupted, and I bit my lip, the old hurt twisting like a knife. The game dragged on, Alex wheeling and dealing tiles like properties, while I played safe. Steady. By midway, he was crowing, this is classic M, always the cautious one. And look, she's trailing again. Some folks just don't have the guts for the big plays. Then, pivoting to me, hey, you're into stocks, right? Got any tips? I'm thinking of branching out real money moves. His questions felt off, too probing, too eager. Mostly index funds, I muttered. Boring stuff. But he pressed, come on. What's your setup? Apps? Portfolio size? Uncle Mike cut in, ease up. Alex. But Alex feigned innocence, just helping my cuz. Maybe upgrade that rust bucket Camry. I lost the game soon after. As always. Still the loser. He teased. Some habits die hard. As I packed up, he added, seriously. Let's grab coffee. I could invest some real cash if you've got intel, help you out too. The condescension burned. But I nodded. Drove home. And checked my real portfolio, up to $1.2 million. Staring at Aunt Linda's glowing windows in my rear view, a seed of suspicion took root. Their sudden interest? It reeked of ulterior motives. A week later, the text from Aunt Linda pinged while I sipped coffee. Scanning market opens. Hey, sweetie. Alex wants to chat investments. Free this afternoon? He values your smarts, red heart. The emoji felt manipulative. Like bait. I met him at a Starbucks near my office, my territory. He sauntered in late, flashing that grin, ordering a venti something or other. Looking sharp, work mode. Huh. He leaned in, so I've got capital to deploy. Family first. Right? Spill your tips. I hedged, long-term holds. Nothing flashy. But his eyes sharpened. Portfolio in 5 figures? 6? Don't be coy, I've seen amateurs burn out on crypto gambles. Then the pitch, this condo flip presale. 25% ROI guaranteed. Min buy-in 100K. But for you, it was a con. I sensed it. That's steep, I said. But you've got it stashed. Right? Careful, Always saving. He pushed for my apps. My banks even offered to review my setup. I left unsettled. And back home, something was wrong, a faint whiff of cologne not mine. Papers untouched, but the air off. Paranoia? Maybe. But my gut screamed. Checking logs on my brokerage apps, ones I'd fortified with trackers, showed failed logins to my Fidelity and E-Trade accounts during our meeting. IPs traced to Naperville. Aunt Linda's address. More digs, attempts on my work portal. All thwarted by 2FA. This wasn't random, it was orchestrated. My family blood trying to rob me blind. The betrayal hit like a gut punch. Years of loans unpaid. Secrets weaponized. Now escalating to cyber theft. Rage simmered. But I locked it down. Upgraded security, biometrics, verbal passcodes, alerts galore. Then, I plotted. No confrontation yet, that'd be too easy. They'd pay for underestimating me. The memories flooded in that night, each one a fresh wound. It started small, spot me 20. From Alex at family picnics. Never repaid. In college. His midnight call, lost a bet, need 500 or I'm toast. I wired it. Ate ramen for weeks. He showed up at Thanksgiving with a Rolex. No thanks. Last year. Aunt Linda's sob story via mom. Medical bills crushing me. I sent $5,000. Only to see her Instagram spa getaway posts. Insurance sorted it, she brushed off later. Deeper hurts, my job leads borrowed by Alex. My tips claimed as his genius. They drained me emotionally. Financially. While I craved belonging. Now. Staring at those logs. Pity twisted into resolve. They saw me as prey, I'd become the predator. I dove into research. Alex's realty site screamed facade, outdated listings. Generic reviews. Public records? License suspensions for shady deals. Lawsuits settled quietly. His condo flip? A 2018 flop mired in liens. Aunt Linda's house? Underwater on loans. Credit a mess. Desperation explained their hack attempt. They'd sniffed my hidden wealth from glimpsed apps or my uncomplaining stability. I built a dossier, $18,000 in loans over years. Stolen heirlooms. Rifled belongings. Mom would defend them, family's messy. So I went solo. Hired a lawyer. Elena Vargas. Specializing in financial abuse, common in families, she said coolly. We fortified assets into trusts. LLCs impenetrable. Cyber firms swept my place. Set honeypots, fake accounts to lure intruders. The bait? Emily D. Safe, a dummy profile with a $120,000 portfolio on a mid-tier app. Mediocre trades screaming vulnerability. I left digital trails for them to follow. Texts from Alex ramped up, deals closing, don't miss out. I deflected. Then invented, Aunt Linda invited me for Sunday dinner, we'll talk. She confirmed eagerly. Clueless to my lie. I transferred real funds to vaults. Documented every probe. The PI uncovered Alex's abyss, gambling debts to loan sharks. Repossessed Mercedes. Aunt Linda's balance transfer pyramid. They weren't greedy, they were sinking. But empathy? Gone. They'd earned this. Sunday dinner dripped tension. I arrived in my usual attire, but with a subtle Rolex peak, hinting affluence. Laptops in tow, dummy one accidentally left open. Over pasta. Alex probed, ready to invest? I hedged. Excused myself, leaving the bait unattended. Logs lit up later, accesses from their IP. Them ogling the fake portfolio. Game on. November game night was their endgame and mine. Aunt Linda's text buzzed with hype. Special night must attend. The house buzzed with extras, distant cousins. Friends. Even mom. No board games, instead. A projector. Alex announced, family finance talk, helping those lagging. Click, my dummy portfolio splashed on screen. Amateur mistakes, losses while market booms. We know who needs guidance. Eyes on me. I'm starting a family fund, pro management. Big returns. Sarah and Ben already in. I rose. Heart pounding but voice steel. I've got a presentation too. Hooked my real laptop. Slide 1. Alex's defaults. Diversification lessons. Gasps. Next, maxed cards. Fraud suits. Leverage tips. What is this? Alex snarled. Final, hack logs. Due diligence on thieves. The room imploded, Aunt Linda collapsed. Sarah wept. Ben glared. Then. The bomb, my true $1.2 million total. That was bait, you bit? Chaos, denials. Exits. I packed, I'm done being your mark. You steal, I expose. Mom followed. Shocked, I didn't know. I know, I hugged. But no more. The folder I forgot? Cease and desist. FBI complaint draft. Settlement. Aunt Linda called late, please. He's in deep with bad people. His mess. Terms, confession. No contact. License escrow to charity. He signed weeks later. Broken in Elena's office. You ruined me. You did. I reached victims, refiled complaints. Board probe. Sarah and Ben? Scam $2.40K gone. Divorce followed. Family fractured. House sold. Moves to obscurity. Charges pending. A year on. Finforge IPO'd. My stake hit $3.8 million. New home. Quiet suburb. Blog under alias. Protecting wealth from kin. Subscribers soared. Stories echoed mine. Saw Alex waiting tables once, nodded. Tipped fair. Walked away. Freedom? Priceless. No guilt. Just peace. The careful one didn't just win, she redefined victory.